Warning, a psychic reading can be powerful and life-altering.
Have you no empathy, man?
Let us amaze you. Call now and try it for free.
Call 1-800-914-6490.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Kamala Harris is in a tough position. Her recent shift to appear on more TV shows and podcasts and news outlets, something that she's been avoiding like the plague her entire campaign, suggests internal polling is horrid. So now her campaign is forced to throw her in front of some cameras, but there's a reason why she's been hiding like Biden for this long. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Kamala Harris received 1% of the vote of the Democratic Party in the primary in 2020 for some reason or another, probably because she is completely left and her ideas are very socialist, if you would. It's easy for some Americans to like Kamala Harris when they didn't see much of her. But now, as you're filtering through mainstream media, both left and right, all you see is Kamala Harris. And she is not doing good. The ratings are struggling on all of the podcasts that she's been on. And she cannot speak without a teleprompter. And this is why they've been hiding her. That's why they've been doing the basement strategy. Here is a collage of, prepare yourself, guys. Prepare yourself for the cringe, because this is a collage of Kamala Harris's most epic fails.
Have you no empathy, man? You know, for the suffering of other people.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind. I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body.
No.
Is there any law?
No. It's no. There will be no success in ending that war without Ukraine and the UN Charter participating in what that success looks like. Ukraine must have a say in the future of Ukraine. Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes.
I love you back. Do you have people in your life who applaud your success? Mm-hmm. Do you have people in your life who you trust? Do you have people in your life who, when you trip and fall, they laugh with you and then they pick you up and push you back out there? Mm-hmm. There are people that you know who will be those people if you choose to have them. Mm-hmm. I am blessed to have an incredible family and incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still one of my best friends.
That's crazy.
Right? Stacey Johnson.
Yeah, that's dope. I love it.
We used to go to the clubs and her Father Seville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You can clearly see why she's not relatable. She's not relatable. Look, I don't watch this Up in Smoke podcast, but when she says, I have friends since kindergarten, look at this guy's face right here. Watch his face.
It's crazy.
Right?
He's like, they edited it. It was quick.
Kindergarten is still one of my best friends.
That's crazy.
Look. I know we got some serious stuff happening in the world, but I wanted to bring you guys some humor, because without humor, life wouldn't be fun, right? And again, I want to send prayers and everything to everybody that's experiencing stuff from the hurricanes. We can't forget that. But I wanted to bring some light and comedy into this serious world here. This gentleman's like, yeah, right. So Kamala Harris was on The View, and she was asked, would you do anything different if you could? And she says no. So that was her opportunity. It was a softball question. It was her opportunity to answer it. But because she's with the Democratic Party, they gave her another swing on the Colbert Show. And Colbert asked her the same question. Because if you don't get it right the first time, you get a second swing at it, right? I don't know. But so Colbert asked her the same.
What would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. When we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, it's about, frankly, I love the American people, and I believe in our country.
1 hour later.
I love that it is our character and nature
5 minutes later.
to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we are
1 eternity later.
and I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity, and in that way grow the.
I think she totally forgot the question. She said that she's not Joe Biden and she's not Donald Trump. And then she goes into her, we're adding another phrase to the Kamala utility belt. We are an optimistic people. She, about 10 seconds in, forgot the question and did this epic word salad.
Of leadership looks like were I to be elected president. It's important to say we change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And so when we think about the significance of what this
she forgot the question. She can't answer questions. You saw that in the opening video where the teleprompter went off and she was off. She can't compute. She cannot compute. On the other hand, Donald Trump held an epic rally today, and he's talking about Joe Biden. And I personally have seen some really Joe Biden has some different energy because he's holding press conferences while Kamala Harris is on The View. I clearly think he is getting back at the DNC for kicking him out. And right now, he's like, F it. I'm going all in. So he looks a lot lighter. He still has his fumbles and his gaffes, but this is Donald Trump talking about Joe Biden at his rally today.
Although Joe's looking pretty good lately, I tell you, he's looking pretty good compared to Kamala. I say, right? First time I said, this guy's starting to look sharper. He's starting to look sharper because we're comparing it, and he's angry at her, and he hates her. The only question is, I think he hates her almost as much as he hates me. No. And I think he might be willing to, he can't take much more. It was an overthrow, okay? It was an overthrow. And he's having a hard time saying, he did it voluntarily. He didn't. They pulled out, you know what they did, right? Article what? 25. That's what they did. And they said, you're sick. You're not going to go on. He got 14 million votes. He got 14. Think of it. He got 14. She got none. And this was really, this was an overthrow. This is the first overthrow, or you could call it a coup. Do you want to call it a coup? This was the first coup in the history of America. David, you're an expert on this stuff, right? Wouldn't you say?
I agree with Trump. I do. This is a Biden puts on a hurricane press briefing with Kamala virtually, which we'll get into here in a minute. But here is Joe Biden prior to the press briefing.
I'm a big kid. Look what I can do.
So, meanwhile, today, Trump was on the Andrew Schultz Flagrant podcast, which currently has more views in the last 4 or 6 hours. It's about 500,000 views in the last 4 to 6 hours than Kamala's interview with the Call Her Daddy podcast, which has been up for, I think, 2 days and has the same amount of views. People are seeing through the bull crap. So Andrew Schultz asked Donald Trump about Mike Pence. Oh, sorry, the audio got disconnected here. There we go.
Friends of mine now.
Oh,
and I
now
don't
you
want
got to be nice.
So I've
What
taken
about
that-
Mike Pence? You got anything for Mike Pence?
Well, it's a shame because he and I had a very good
What happened to him?
relationship.
Hanging out
He
somewhere.
couldn't cross the line of doing what was right, in my opinion.
Ah,
Some
yeah.
people would disagree with that, but he had the right to go and put them before the legislatures and have them reassess because they found out a lot of bad things. And he had a lawyer that said he didn't have that right, but he did have that right. And you know why we found out that that was true? Because they changed the law after the election so that he couldn't do what I said he could do.
Yeah.
Okay. They changed the law so that a vice president could no longer do what I said he could do. So in other words, I turned out to be right. But it's a shame. We had a very good relationship for 99.9% of the thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he's a good man. I think he's a
Oh,
good
that's
man.
good.
Unfortunately, I wish he would have had the stamina, maybe courage, maybe both,
Yeah.
to go further. Because we have to have honest elections in our country. And if we're afraid to challenge an election, we're in big trouble. You know, they say if you they've challenged elections. The Democrats, look at Maxine Waters. How dare them? You know, they've challenged Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
Almost all of the Democrats challenged.
Yeah.
But when we challenge, they say he's a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
These are con artists, and they're very bad for our country.
Yeah.
So I'm going to weed them out. I'm going to weed them out. I'll do it in honor of you.
This is what a leader looks like, guys. This is what a leader looks like. This is what a leader acts like when they're not on script, when they're not doing rallies. He's able to have conversations. I believe this Flagrant podcast went close to 2 hours, unscripted. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris at the hurricane briefing with Joe Biden on his playset desk. Joe Biden or Kamala Harris tells her handlers that it is a live broadcast. She covers her mouth and she's in her, somebody's in her earpiece. And look at this.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
What?
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question.
Guys, how do you cover your mouth, but you got a microphone on? You cover your mouth, but you have a microphone on. You don't think that that's going to pick it up? This is the
flood.
This is the IQ of this particular person.
We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of to the people of Florida.
Oh, guys, you got to watch this. I don't know what's going on with her. She's having a meltdown, midlife crisis, presidential candidates campaign meltdown in the middle of C-SPAN of a hurricane briefing. Listen to this.
And in particular, the people of the Tampa region
We urge you to take this storm seriously.
Flood.
I don't know what's going on with her here.
Florida, and in particular, the people of the Tampa region. We urge you to take.
Not sure what's going on with her there. Trump back on the Flagrant podcast talks about how he comes up with particular nicknames for individuals because he's a quick-witted guy. I think he's one of the he could be a stand-up comedian. Here we go.
You think I'm the number one influence?
I think it's
So who
Rogan.
else?
I think it's Rogan, you, and Kim Kardashian. Like Kim Kardashian influences the shape of women's bodies and faces. Like you see so many, they're literal shape of human beings.
Do they want to look like her?
They want to look like her. So once we start seeing dudes want to look like you,
Yeah.
and I see young Jack over there. I think he's trying to do it.
Yeah.
Jack.
Your
Oh, yeah,
TikTok guy.
TikTok Jack.
TikTok
TikTok.
Jack.
So tell me. This is a little new world. I call him, his name is Jack. I call him TikTok Jack. I'm good with names, you know.
You are.
You're very good with
You are.
names.
You
I
are.
mean, Pocahontas.
Yeah.
We have names.
What about and there was Tampon Tim was good. What about
Tim,
is
the
that?
problem with Tampon Tim, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
In other words,
It's a mouthful.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Tampon. And you can't stutter it through when you call it. It's really a lousy word to say.
Yeah.
But it's quite accurate, right? There are some like Comrade Kamala. It's a little hard to say. She's comrade because she's obviously a communist.
Yeah.
She's horrible. So I call her comrade.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. But when you put the names together, it's a little, you got to be able to pume. No, you got to be able to put it out there. But we have a lot of good ones. A lot of them I can't go into with you because some of my best ones. Some of my best ones are from the Republican primaries.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all friends of mine now.
Oh,
And I
now
don't
you
want
got it.
So quick-witted. So quick-witted, Mr. Trump. This is an enlightening story here. President Trump houses 275 Florida linemen free of charge at the Doral, Miami resort ahead the Hurricane Milton landfall. Look at this. Free. Guys, free. I just got the chills. Free. The mainstream media isn't gonna share this with you. They're also not going to share all the other great things that Donald Trump's done in the past and currently is still doing. They're not going to show you this. These people get to stay free of charge. Free of charge. Trump talks about the assassination attempts on the Flagrant podcast. Let's jump into that. Let's see. Here we go.
Think tried to take you out.
So I'm going to give you some big breaking news, right?
Love that.
Here's the breaking. So you have this shooter and you have another shooter, right? So this shooter had 3 or so cell phones. The FBI's never gotten them opened.
Wow.
The other shooter, 3 apps, they call them. And I believe they were foreign-based apps, from what I understand.
Oh, wow.
They haven't opened them, and they're foreign-based. And, you hear all about Iran, because I was rough with Iran, but I want to see Iran do great. I want to see Iran do great.
Yeah.
But I want to stop all the killing and all this. And I was rough on Iran, and they supposedly have a hit on me. In fact, I think it takes great courage for you people to be interviewing me, because it could be now,
Yeah.
They
Well,
could
we
be
didn't know
right
that
now.
before we got in here.
No, if
before.
you would have known that, you might not have done this.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, this is a good way of me getting the interview to be short. Exactly. All of a sudden, he's going to say, okay, that's it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Go see my daughter.
Anyway, they have 3 apps, and
foreign-based, 2 of them, maybe 3 of them are foreign-based. They haven't opened them yet. Why wouldn't you open them when you hear about Iran or when you hear about, foreign? Then the other one had 6 cell phones, and they haven't opened. Now, it's very hard to open a cell phone. Only Apple can do it in theory. So I sort of hate answering it because I don't want to give any false identities. I don't want to do anything having to do with creating something that isn't there. You would look at Iran. Iran has an open threat out for me, and that's bad. And Biden, if he were a real president, if he were the kind of guy he should be, should say, if anybody shoots a former president who's now the leading candidate, even though he's leading against Democrats, we will bomb that country into oblivion. And it would stop. And that's been said before with some people. There have been people, I won't go into it, but there have been people that have been threatened in another party even. In the same party, it makes sense and probably happens pretty quickly. But in another party, it's hard for them to
cross the line.
To want to protect me. But it shouldn't be hard. Other people have protected other people. And what you have to inform those people is if they do it, the country will be blown to smithereens. The entire country will be blown to smithereens. And those threats go away because that's a really bad threat for a country. Forget about me. I'm an individual, but I represent something very important. That's a really terrible thing.
Donald Trump does represent something really important. And it is important. I'm going to do an Elon Musk plug here. Don't forget to register to vote. Text your friends to vote. This is a very important election. What do you guys think of Kamala fumbling the ball when going on mainstream media? It's a complete contrast. You got Kamala going on mainstream media outlets and podcasts and news outlets, and she's fumbling the ball horribly. And then you have Donald Trump easily going on these shows and speaking freely and openly like a person and conversating about his policies. It is comparing apples to oranges here, guys. 100%. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Share, subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.